After months of being away from classrooms and the conventional method of learning, the colleges in Meghalaya will reopen on February 1st. While some colleges in the state are all set up to open their gates while keeping in mind all the health protocols issued by the government, there are others that are still undecided and are currently working on a concrete plan for this year's academic session. The Northeast today spoke to different stakeholders, and this is what they have to say.
Since the government had already set the date on February the 1st, 2021 to reopen the classes, so we have decided, the college has decided to arrange the classes in such a way by splitting the students into 4 or 5 groups.
We have planned that we will have the blended mode as instructed and directed by the government of Meghalaya. We will have the blended mode as far as the classes are concerned. We will have the online classes as well as the offline classes. But the offline classes will be consultation. We will try to keep it to the consultation class. We will see that the materials, the reading materials, the study materials is being supplied through the BBS college portal. We have the online classes, and then those who are facing this, those students who are really facing problem in understanding the topic concern, we will try to have them in the class after they seek prior approval of the college authority.
As we have experienced so far, we had online classes all through, right from the month of April last year. Till now also online classes going on. But then being the college which is situated in the rural area, some students coming from very rural part of this district are really suffering because we lack internet facility. So we feel that if a blended mode like this, that we can contact and interact with students maybe for some days, it will be good enough to help us to help the students.
In these last few days we have seen the government has given a kind of directives that college must resume their classes. But it is still not clear whether it will be a normal class or not so normal class, because it still talk about the online and offline classes and 3 days regular classes. Regarding this, many colleges will be still facing problem because in the past so many years we have been used to squeeze that number of students to certain rooms. So it will be difficult to simply say that with this COVID situation now, it's difficult to simply say that in colleges we can maintain that social distance and all.
Reopening of the schools or the offline classes has to be sanctioned by the parents. That means applications are needed. Parents need to give their consent, and therefore this is not mandatory. The durations of the classes would be reduced. Instead of having 55 minutes of classes, I think now there would be 35 or 40 minutes of classes. And this will be compensated by online classes also. So teachers have been asked to take both offline and online classes.
So I think the offline class, it will be better. The student will be understand more what about the problem they'll face. I think what about the government, they'll have reopening the normal class. It will be good for the student, especially for the science students. The main problem, I think, for the rural student, that they'll have to migrate to the urban areas. Now the hostel till now they are not open, but I think there maybe they'll have to think for the comfort of the student that have stayed in the hostel, because now the students are coming from rural areas. When they'll go to Shillong, they'll have to rent a house.
Our children had to stay home because of the pandemic, and they have been following the online mode of learning. But there are so many students, including my own kids, when they are at home, problems like internet connectivity come up every now and then. And we as parents, we can't always follow it up with their academic activities, whether they are really using the phone for online class purposes or something else. They are always busy on the phones. So I feel this is the right decision, and students will be able to meet up and talk to each other face to face, and they have to follow the protocols. The college authorities should come up with a system to limit the number of students in each class.
Regarding safety procedure and all, I think going back to college is not a good idea. Starting schools is a good idea because schools basically involves just the local people from our state, and as we all know, our state is fine. It's in good conditions and everything with all the social distancing and everything. But college is one thing we have to look at, is that it involves students from states all around the country, and people might just come in, and I don't know what they might bring with them. Even if they are tested negative, not everyone is going to attend college, as in like how we have the odd and even system for cars, we are going to follow that as well, where odd numbers of roll numbers for the students will be joining on the first day, then the next day it'll be the even roll number students who are going to do that.
I think I am okay or perhaps glad that the colleges are reopening, because it's almost been a year we've been sitting home and working from home. Now, if a situation like this was to prevail for a longer period of time, what would we have done then? Sit home for the next few years? Now, that is not a solution in my opinion. So I'm glad that the colleges are reopening, and I think it's good to have offline classes rather than having online classes. I do not think we will be able to maintain the social distancing, but I think we all college going students are adults, and I think it's time for us to now behave like adults. It's time for us to now behave like adults and maintain the social distancing that we are supposed to.
I do agree with college being reopened, because I feel like with online classes, I'm barely like half of us barely can keep up, and like yeah, but there is like like people are worried about the colleges being open, like, and people being contaminated with the virus. But I still feel like if they do follow the protocols that are given by the government, we can succeed in like going to college and not being affected by the virus. And also like they give us assignments, and on top of, and for our department we usually have group discussions and all that, and most of the time like we wouldn't feel like doing it over the phone. Like it's not the same thing as like doing it individually, like with the other person.
Actually, I'm really glad because college is reopening after almost 11 months, I think. And I'm graduating in no time. So I was really missing college because I was missing a lot from my college life. So I'm really glad that college is reopening, though it'll be very difficult to maintain social distancing and, you know, obviously people will not maintain the social distancing between them.
Reopening of colleges will result in better teaching and learning experience and will be more convenient for both the students and the teachers, as we are not used to this online mode of teaching and learning. However, taking into consideration the various risks involved in it and looking at the current situation of the pandemic, where COVID cases are still rising, I am not so sure about the idea of reopening the colleges at the moment. And as we all know, COVID can be spread very easily. A simple mistake can lead to viral infection of the virus, and my biggest fear is the viral spread of the virus after reopening the colleges. As a student studying in a different state, it will be quite a problem for us if that happens.
The government has eased the restrictions in the state with regards to educational institutions. Colleges will reopen from the 1st of February. The classes will resume following the guidelines issued by the government. With camera person Nikita Gadal, this is Sani Ahmed reporting for TNT.